It began with a sound, not an explosion, not a weapon firing, not even a warning. Just a call, low, echoing, ancient, a sound that didn't belong in the vacuum of space. At first, no one understood what they were hearing. Deep space monitoring stations picked it up as interference. Starfleet flagged it as an anomaly. Scientists tried to decode it. But the closer it got to Earth, the more everything began to fall apart. In Star Trek IV, The Voyage Home, humanity doesn't face an enemy. It faces something far worse, something that doesn't hate us, something that doesn't even see us. The object entered the solar system without slowing, a massive, dark presence drifting through space like a ghost. No visible weapons, no recognizable structure, no clear design. It wasn't built like a ship. It wasn't built like anything humanity had ever seen. And yet, it was powerful beyond comprehension. As it approached Earth, the signal intensified. That same haunting call, repeating over and over again. A pattern, a rhythm, a language. Then the oceans began to rise, violently, as if something deep beneath the surface was responding. Storms erupted across the planet. Not natural storm, but something chaotic, unstable, wrong. The atmosphere itself seemed to twist under pressure. Clouds churned like living things. Lightning split the skies in endless waves. Power grids failed. Cities went dark. Satellites dropped from orbit like burning debris. Entire continents lost communication within minutes. And still, the signal continued. No attack, no targeted destruction, just that sound. Relentless, unstoppable. At first, Starfleet did what it always does. It tried to respond. Ships were deployed. Attempts at communication were made. Every known language was transmitted. Every frequency tested. Nothing. It didn't react, didn't acknowledge, didn't even adjust its behavior, because it wasn't listening. That's when the fear truly began to set in. Because for the first time, humanity realized something horrifying. This wasn't an invasion. It was something else entirely. The object wasn't here for Earth. It wasn't here for humans. It was here for something that no longer existed. The breakthrough came from an unexpected place, not from weapons, not from strategy, but from recognition. That signal, it wasn't random. It wasn't noise. It was a voice humanity had heard before, but never truly understood. It was the song of whales, ancient, complex, beautiful, a language carried across oceans long before humans ever dreamed of space, a form of communication so advanced that even now it remained largely a mystery. And something out there, something incredibly powerful, was calling to them. But there was a problem, a devastating one. They were gone, driven to extinction by human hands, hunted, destroyed, silenced. The oceans were empty, the songs had stopped, and the probe didn't know. It kept calling, waiting, expecting a response. And when none came, it called louder. The signal grew stronger, more intense, more desperate, and Earth began to die. Because the probe wasn't designed to destroy, but it also wasn't designed to stop. Its purpose was simple: communicate, make contact, wait for an answer. And if that answer never came, it would keep trying, forever. Think about that. A machine so advanced it could cross interstellar distances, so powerful it could disrupt an entire planet. And yet, it had no understanding of what it was doing. It didn't know it was killing millions, didn't know it was collapsing ecosystems, didn't know it was tearing a world apart. Because to it, none of that mattered. Only the signal mattered, only the response. And that's what makes the whale probe one of the most terrifying concepts in all of science fiction. Not because it's evil, but because it isn't. It's indifferent. And indifference is far more dangerous than hatred, because hatred can be reasoned with, fought, understood. Indifference doesn't care if you exist. And if you don't matter, you don't get a chance to survive. As the hours passed, Earth spiraled deeper into chaos. The ocean surged higher, flooding coastlines, swallowing cities. The atmosphere destabilized further. Breathing itself became difficult in some regions. Temperatures fluctuated wildly. Entire systems failed. Hospitals, governments, defenses, all useless, because there was nothing to fight. No enemy, no strategy, no weakness. Just a question echoing across the planet, and no one left to answer it. That was the moment humanity faced the truth. This wasn't something it could solve with power. It had to solve it with understanding. It had to answer the call. But how do you answer a voice? That belongs to the dead. That's when the impossible became the only option. Time travel, not as an experiment, not as exploration, but as survival. To go back to a time before the silence, before extinction, before humanity made the mistake that would one day nearly destroy it, to a world where whales still lived, still sang, still answered, because only they could stop it, only they could respond to the call, only they could tell the probe that it was not alone. And maybe that's the most haunting part of this entire story. Humanity had advanced beyond its own planet, mastered space, built ships that could cross the stars. And yet, none of that mattered. Because in the end, its survival depended on something it had already destroyed, a voice it had silenced, a species it had erased. And now, it needed them back, not as resources, not as curiosities, but as equals, as the one thing in the universe that could save them. Because without them, there would be no future. And that's the true horror of the whale probe. Not the storms, not the destruction, not even the threat of extinction, but the realization that humanity nearly died because it failed to understand the value of something it once had, something it once ignored, something it thought would never matter, until it was gone. The probe didn't come as a conqueror. It didn't come as a destroyer. It came looking for a conversation. And when no one answered, an entire world almost paid the price. Because sometimes, the greatest threats don't come from enemies. They come from consequences, and sometimes, by the time you hear the call, it's already too late to answer. And maybe the most terrifying part of all is that it wasn't an attack. It was just a call that nearly wiped out an entire world, simply because no one was left to answer. If this story changed the way you see Star Trek, make sure to like the video, because there are far darker mysteries still out there. Subscribe if you want more stories where science fiction feels a little too real, and turn on notifications, because the next mystery might be even more disturbing than this one. Until next time, keep listening, because somewhere out there, something might be calling.